Okay, take 5. This is chapter 4.4, Trigonometry in 2D. By request, someone has asked to have an explanation for page 255, number 9. So I'm paraphrasing this question. Hope it helps you. A pottery bowl with diameter 30 centimeters is filled by rainwater to a depth of 7 centimeters. In other words, that's going to be 7. Okay, 7 centimeters. The bowl is slowly tipped, so the water spills. What angle does the rim of the bowl make with the horizontal when the water begins to spill? There's a couple of assumptions you're going to make this question work. Number one, make the assumption that this is going to be a perfect circular bowl. So it's literally a perfect circle, but you just sort of cut in half. Okay, which means this is also going to be a radius. Next, when you tip the bowl, the depth of the water does not change because, thanks to gravity, the water is not going to stick to the bowl itself, but it's going to roll over until it begins to spill out. I think that makes sense. Okay, so those two assumptions are going to be made. Please remember that this is still a diameter of 30, which implies that the radius of this rim is 15, which also implies that the radius of anywhere along this bowl is going to be 15 as well. That's going to be important later on. Okay, let's continue. This question does not necessarily have to use sine law or cosine law. I think the simplest way is going to be just SOHCAHTOA, but it may not be the only solution. So take things with a grain of salt. If you found a different way, it doesn't necessarily mean you're wrong. Here we go. As I stated before, the radius of this semicircle is 15. And I think I should explain. I think I can make that assumption is because they give you a diameter, which implies that there is a radius of the rim. It just sort of makes sense that way. So let's continue. If the radius is 15, then I can also say that from the center of this circle to any edge along the outer circumference of the circle is also 15, right? But we also mentioned that the depth of this water is 7. So what can you tell me is the remaining dotted portion? So the length of the remaining dotted portion, it is going to be 8 centimeters, 15 minus 7. So the question asks for what is the angle that the rim makes with the horizontal. So assuming that the water is not choppy and it's not wavy, it's going to create a solid horizontal surface line. And if I were to take this elaborate drawing and try to make a clearer picture of it, that would be the surface of the water. This would be the rim of the bowl. And I create a dotted line perfectly horizontal. This length is 8. This length is 15. And I'm looking for that angle. I essentially, because this is a perfect vertical and this is a perfect horizontal, you can say that that's 90 degree. I have a 90-degree triangle. 8 is the opposite side. 15 is the hypotenuse with reference to theta. Opposite over hypotenuse is the sine ratio. So sine theta is equal to 8 over 15. Theta then is inverse sine of 8 over 15, which I'm going to be careful here. Inverse sine. The angle is going to be 32.23 degrees. And that's it. I think the hardest part is sort of imagining this and seeing where the triangle is. Basically finding clues so that you can figure out what formulas you can use afterwards. See what you can do with the other questions. Hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next one.